New at 5 o'clock, we're getting answers after a former police recruit who is black has sued Providence police, saying he was the target of racially charged humiliation and harassment by training officers. On the heels of that federal lawsuit, NBC 10 looked into whether local departments are doing enough to prevent discrimination and attract minority officers.
NBC 10's Tamara Sakarsik compiled the data. She says she found a lack of diversity among local law enforcement. It's a story you'll see only on 10.
A majority of police officers in Rhode Island are white, but the reasons behind that can be complicated. In fact, we learned one big factor is the testing process.
Not only is it difficult to recruit minority officers, it's difficult to recruit officers.
Begging for backup, police departments across Rhode Island are facing a recruitment crisis as they struggle to convince minority candidates to join a profession scarred by stigma.
Do you think that police departments in Rhode Island right now are doing enough to attract a diverse police force?
I think that departments are working on it.
NBC 10 learned about 17% of the Rhode Island State Police identify as a minority. That's pretty much in line with the state's demographics. Providence has one of the most diverse departments, with minorities representing 32% of the police force, but minorities make up more than half of the city's population. In Cranston, East Providence, Warwick, Johnston, and Lincoln, 90% of officers are white.
If we're not drawing in minority applicants, if we're not having minority applicants represented at the end of the process, why is that?
Lincoln Police Captain Philip Gould started asking that question after realizing his department was losing minority recruits in the written test portion of the process.
We reached out to East Providence and Central Falls, and they're very good with the equal opportunity programs. And I said, hey, what are you guys using for a written test? You know, because we do realize that certain groups and certain people have tough times with standardized testing.
Something East Providence Police had also discovered.
We found out that some of the tests that we were using in the past years had an adverse impact against people who speak English as a second language and those who don't test as well.
Do you think that police departments across the country have almost been unknowingly discriminating against minorities with this testing because the test itself hasn't taken these factors into consideration, as you mentioned, English being your second language?
Continuing to do the things we do it the same way because we've always done it that way. Mm-hmm. There might be a failure there from police departments not saying, hey, how can we do this better?
East Providence and Lincoln Police are now using a new test with a high success rate for minority candidates. Captain Gould says it's a step in the right direction, but more needs to be done.
I think that, again, as we go through and we look to improve and how we are attracting minority applicants, it's going to take some time. But it's certainly worth the effort.
Testing plays a critical role in hiring minority candidates, but departments first have to attract those recruits. I'll show you how 3 local departments are getting creative coming up this Thursday at 5. In the studio, Tamara Sakarsik, NBC 10 News.